Yo, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Today we are predicting the results of every division in the NFL. So we have 8 divisions here, 4 teams, 32 teams overall. And let's get straight into here with the AFC East first. So in fourth, I have the Jets. The Jets are finishing fourth. They're honestly just one of the worst teams in the NFL. They did not get much better over the offseason. Re-signing Geno Smith probably to be their quarterback this season, just not a good move. We saw it once already, and seeing it twice is not going to be any better. I have the Jets finishing fourth. In the third spot, I have the Miami Dolphins. Now, I do think they'll be a little better than the Jets, but not by much. I also think they're awful. I could see either one of these two teams finding a way to go 0-17, being the first and only team to do that, but I don't think it's going to happen. But there's a chance. You never know. Second spot, I have the Patriots. I do think they're a very good team. I think they're a Super Bowl contender and a playoff contender. I just think they're a little worse than the Bills. I think the Bills are a little bit better of a team. And I had the Bills finishing in the number 1 spot in the AFC East. I think they'll be the 2 seed in the AFC overall. And I think they will be a Super Bowl contender. Next up is the AFC West, and in fourth, I have the Raiders. Now, the Raiders have made a lot of improvements this offseason. They got their quarterback. Obviously, the signings of Linderbaum and guys like that. They still have Max Crosby, surprisingly. And good for them, by the way. That's a great guy to have. He's going to be fully healthy, hopefully. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they'll be able to get around 7 or 8 wins. Maybe 8, maybe 9. We'll see, but overall, I think they will be a team that could beat any team in the league. Now, they're not going to be a playoff contender. They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender or even close, but they'll be much better than last season. In the 3 spot, I have the Chargers. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think this is the most stacked division in the AFC. The Chargers, I think, will be a playoff team. I think they'll be a little better than last year. Who knows what they'll do in the playoffs? At the 2 spot, we have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs losing the division for the second year straight. I think they'll be very good. I just don't believe that they will be ahead of the number 1 spot, which is the Broncos. The Broncos, such a good team. They're in the Super Bowl if Bo Nix doesn't break his ankle or his foot. So that was unfortunate for them. I think they will win the AFC West. I think they'll get like 13 or 14 wins and be one of the best teams in football. They'll be a Super Bowl contender, and I think they actually will make the Super Bowl next season. Next up, the AFC North here, starting at the bottom, I have the Browns in the 4th spot, obviously. I think they'll be a little better this offseason. Their rookies from last year progress, and then we'll get a chance to see their rookies from this year and see how they do. But they had a great draft class last season, and I think they will be a little better this season. In the 3rd spot, we have the Bengals. I think they'll miss the playoffs. I think Joe Burrow, despite being healthy, that defense is just not good enough. You did trade for Dexter Lawrence, but you lost Trey Hendrickson. You traded away a top 10 pick for a guy who was almost 30. I don't love that trade. I think he'll be good for maybe a year or 2, but he's just not enough to carry that defense, just like Trey Hendrickson was not enough to carry that defense. And the 2 spot, I have the Steelers. They'll also miss the playoffs. I think they'll be a solid team as well. I think they'll finish with 9 or 10 wins, but I do think they will miss the playoffs barely. I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think Aaron Rodgers is just not going to get you to the playoffs. He's just not good enough. He's 40-something years old. It's just not enough. And the 1 spot, I think the Ravens will win the division. I think they'll actually be the 1 seed in the AFC, to be honest. They're a very good team. The Ravens are going to be a very strong team. Sorry, I think they could be the 1 seed. Not for sure. I think I said the Broncos as well. I think they could also be the 1 seed. It just depends what happens. But I think the Ravens have a shot at the 1 seed. They'll win the division, and they will have a shot at the Super. They'll be a Super Bowl contender. And finally, the AFC South. We have the Titans in the 4th spot. I think they will also get a little better. Just not by much, maybe a game or 2. I think the AFC overall will be a little better this season. But Titans are not going to be good. They still have so many holes in that team. I think Cam Ward will progress a little bit. But just too many holes for them to have any sort of chance to make the playoffs. And the result, we have the Colts. I think there's a chance to make the playoffs. Probably not. We don't know when Daniel Jones will be back next season. We don't know who will be playing. It'll probably be, I think, Riley Leonard playing quarterback for the next season. But overall, the Colts are just not going to be as good as they were last season with Daniel Jones. And they have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't think it'll happen. The 2 spot, the Jaguars, I do think they make the playoffs. They're a very good team. They almost beat the Bills in the playoffs last season. And I think it'll be better this season. They did lose ETN, but I'm not too worried about that. I think they will finish 2nd in the South and make the playoffs. And I think the Texans will once again win the AFC South. I think they're going to be a very good team. I think offensively, they'll be a lot better next season. I think CJ, we'll see some more progression out of him. We haven't seen that. We didn't see that last year or the year before, but I think we'll see some progression this year. Again, he'll be a lot better. I think it's Nico Collins he'll get back. Nico or Tank Dell, one of them, I think it was Tank Dell, actually. We'll see him come back from the knee injury. And hopefully be able to have an effect on this offense. And I believe they'll win the AFC South. Moving over to the NFC, the best division in the NFC is the NFC West. Now the 4th spot, obviously the Cardinals. I don't like the direction they're going at all. They drafted a running back with, I think, the 4th overall pick or 3rd overall pick with absolutely no direction to the franchise. You have no offensive line. You have no quarterback. You really have two weapons, and you have three. You have Michael Wilson, who's a solid weapon, but you have Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. But outside of that, there is no upside of this team. The defense has so many holes in it as well. I think they are a team that has a chance to go 0-17 as well, especially with the schedule they have. At the third spot, they do have my Niners, unfortunately. I do think the Niners make the playoffs. I do think they're a Super Bowl contender potentially, but just such a tough division, and they're just not there. The roster's so close, it's just not there with the Rams and Seahawks. I think they have the two best rosters in the NFC and NFL. And the two spot, we have the Seahawks. I think this season the Seahawks fall off a little bit. They lost Kenneth Walker. They lost some other guys on defense. I don't think they'll be as good or as dominant defensively or offensively in the run game. I think the rookie will be good for them. He won't be as good as Kenneth was. And Charbonnet, we don't know when he'll be back. I think the Seahawks finish second in the NFC West. And the number one spot, we have the Rams. I mean, with the addition of McDuffie, they filled the real only hole in their team. I wish they would have gone wide receiver or something in the first round instead of taking the quarterback. But unfortunately, you can't control that. It's happened already. But I think the Rams still the best roster in the NFL, or the NFC and the NFL. Now, the NFC East, this is an interesting division because the fourth spot I have the Giants, but I think they're going to be a little better this season. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll be close to the playoffs, but I think they'll get 5 or 6 wins probably. Jackson Dart will progress. We'll see more of Cam Scatterbo. Malik Neighbors will do his thing. I can't wait to see that trio play, but I still think they'll be fourth in the NFC East. And the third spot, I have the Cowboys. I think they did make some good progress this offseason, especially getting Rashawn Gary, drafting Caleb Downs. They made some solid moves, but I still think they'll be third. I just don't think they'll be as good as Commanders or the Eagles. In the two spot, I have Commanders. Jay Daniels back fully healthy. I think fully healthy, he's a top 5 NFC quarterback and has the chance to be a top 5 NFL quarterback. He's that good. If he can stay fully healthy, he could take this team to the playoffs again, and we shall see. And the number one spot, the Eagles. I think this is a year where Jalen Hurts will actually be good again. You know, he has seasons where he's good. He has seasons where he's not. Last year wasn't very good. I think that offense will click again this season. Saquon will be back to his level that he was 2 years ago or before last season. Jalen Hurts will be back to that level as well. They're going to trade away A.J. Brown, see what they can get for him. And I think this is going to be a good season for the Eagles, and they will win the NFC East and be the 2 seed in the NFC. Next up, the NFC North, another very good division. This NFC is stacked. The bottom, I think, with the Vikings, I think they'll be worse than last year. I think Kyler's going to do anything, and JJ McCarthy, it's clear he is not the answer there and never was. They should have kept Sam Darnold. I think they'll finish fourth in the North. Third will be the Lions. I think that the top 3 in that division are so good. I think all 3 will be over 10 wins. I think the Lions, they'll finish third. I think they have the worst quarterback of the 3. I think they probably have the worst head coach of the 3. No, I love Dan Campbell, just the worst head coach of the 3. And I think they'll finish third. Second, the Packers. I think Jordan Love takes a good step this year. He's taking good steps already, but he's taking a bigger step this season. I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback. I think that offense really is gonna be really good this season. And I think they finish second in the NFC North. And the one spot I have the Bears. Caleb Williams, if he's able to be more efficient with the ball, turn it over less, take less sacks, and have a higher completion rates, complete more just like solid passes, like, I don't know, be more efficient. You know, Marcel Bolden on the field instead of trying to go big play after big play. Instead of being cardiac Caleb, if he could be efficient and with a higher percentage of his passes, this team will be the number 1 team in the NFC North and the 3rd seed in the NFC. And finally, the NFC South, the worst division in football, probably. I have the Falcons at 4th spot. I think we don't know what's happening at quarterback there, to be honest. The only thing you know about is 3 things: Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Jesse Bates. That's it. Yeah, Xavier Watts is solid too, but you don't know nothing else with this team. You don't know what's going to happen. And you don't know what you're going to get from guys like Kyle Pitts either. You know, he's been up and down with his what he produces. So I think they finished 4th. 3rd is the Saints. I think Tyler Shuck is the answer there. I think he's very good. I think you'll see overall increased level of production from the offense. You know, you have Travis Etienne now. Who knows what's going to happen with Kamara? I think you'll see an increased level of production from that offense. Travis Etienne's so good, man. I can't wait to see Shuck with him. And I think it's going to be a good year for the Saints. Hopefully, Chris Olave can stay healthy, no more concussions, and we can see the offense produce. The 2 spot, I have the Bucks. I think they take a step back, losing Mike Evans. A lot more is going to be on Emeka Egbuka's shoulders this season. You know, he was able to play with Godwin for a little bit last season and play with Mike Evans for a little bit last season. And when when he was on the field with Mike Evans, at least, he was very good. And I think when Mike Evans got hurt, you kind of saw his production slip a little bit. Of course, it's going to happen. But so we'll see this year. I think Baker will be fine again. I mean, I think if he could produce at an MVP level or a top 5, top 10 quarterback level, this offense will be very good. But I think they finished second. I think the team that's going to take the biggest step in the NFC is the Panthers, dude. A ton of good signings. They overpaid for a few guys, but to get the guys to come to Carolina, you got to overpay for guys. But they made some good additions this offseason. I think Bryce Young took another step forward. He looked really good at the end of last season. I think he'll continue to be better and take a big step this season and be the reason the Panthers win the NFC South and get the fourth seed in the NFC. The NFC stacked. I think the NFL overall, there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams. I mean, a lot of those bad teams have gotten better as well. Like the Saints got better. In the AFC, the Raiders got better. The Titans are getting a little better. So all the bad teams are getting better, while the good teams are not getting worse. So this is going to be a great season of football. It's going to be very competitive. I don't expect the team to go 17-0. Don't expect. I don't think anyone's going to get over 14 wins. And I think it's going to be a ton of competitive football. A ton of teams over 10 wins. But yeah, that is my predictions for every division in the NFL. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My first YouTube video, so let me know what you guys think of this video. And yeah, I'm excited to release this. Hope you guys have a great one, and we'll see you next video.